Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of the Late Night Vision Show, episode 201. We are excited about having another scope review today, and going to bring in Jason with Outdoor Legacy. Jason, I'm going to ask you this. Is there a scope, and it seems like we say this a lot, is there a scope that we have had more calls about for as long as the scope that we're going to be talking about, this new optic from Pulsar?
Yeah, we do say that a lot, but we review a lot of very anticipated and popular optics. And that's one thing that I think that this thermal industry really has, and I said thermal and night vision, we're reviewing a night vision scope. Thermal and night vision industry has going for it is that the people, the users, the hunters get excited when they hear about new stuff coming. There's a lot of buzz generated on social media and in the groups and the forums and stuff. And so this scope in particular, this is a scope. I'll just go ahead and say what it is. It's the Pulsar Digex C50. And this scope has been available in Europe for probably over, I don't know, I want to say a year. I don't know the exact date that it was released over there, a long time. So it's been over there, and I'm going to tell you something. There is nothing that Americans hate more than something being available than them not being able to get it. So we've had a lot of guys.
Right.
Yeah, it's true.
It's true. And I say that before when in the open, has there been a scope with more anticipation? Yeah, probably. But what I'll say is people have been calling us for a year wanting to know about the C50, thinking that they have already been released and that we have them, but we haven't. We just got them not that long ago. We've been testing the one we got here, so we're going to jump right into review as always, and we're going to do a complete rundown of this. It's good to be back doing reviews. Jason, last week we did our 200th episode, and that was fun. But it's time to get back to business. So let's run down the specs of the Digex C50 right here.
Okay, here we go with the specs. All right, so the price of this unit, I always forget to give the price, so I'm going to start with that. So I don't forget, it is $1,399 US, so about $1,400 for this unit. And I do want to go ahead and mention real quick, all the other Digexes, like there was the Digex N450 and the Digisight N450 and some 455s, all those units are discontinued. Right now, the only Pulsar digital optic on the market for spring of 2022 is this Digex C50. So let's run down some of the important specs on this unit. I'm not going to go over every single thing, but I'm going to go over what I think are the highlights, so the important things. So magnification is 3.5 power base mag. That's your optical magnification. And it does have digital zoom. It goes up to 14 power. So just so you know, the way this works is you've got 3.5, 7, and 14. So it's basically 2 bumps of digital zoom. You're doubling every time you go up. It is resolution of the digital night vision sensor is a 1928 by 1088, and it has an AMOLED display. That's the display screen you're looking at, 1024 by 768 resolution. It is this unit includes the 850 IR illuminator. Okay, and so Hans has got the unit there. He can show you that. That unit is very quickly removable. So Hans will talk about that in a minute. If you want to take it off and add another light, you can definitely do that. I do want to mention that that light right there uses the APS battery pack system. Those are the same batteries that the scope uses. So that is a nice thing. If you're using this, you can buy all the same batteries and use them in both the IR light as well as the scope. Those are rechargeable Pulsar proprietary battery packs. All right. And so with that said, again, the scope is a 2 battery pack system. It has an internal battery pack that's called an APS-3. It's a little longer lasting battery. You can't take that battery out. But then up there on the top, under the turret cover, it does have another removable rechargeable battery, and that comes with, it's an APS-2. You can buy the APS-3s if you want some longer battery life, but that is included with it. Now, this unit does have internal video recording with audio. It will also has a basic picture function that you can take still images. It has use of the Stream Vision 2 app. That's Pulsar's streaming app that you can connect that to. You can, view your videos. You can record. You can, view the viewfinder there, holding it in your hand. It also has a picture-in-picture mode that you can turn on. It is rated for negative 13 degrees Fahrenheit. It is rated for a 375 H&H or a 12-gauge shotgun. It is completely waterproof, dust-proof, submersible in water for up to 30 minutes. It's got a standard 3-year warranty from Pulsar. Also, the housing and all is going to be an aluminum alloy, so it's not a plastic unit. I mean, this is a very nice, well-built unit. Another thing worth mentioning is the weight. It is slightly on the heavier side due to the IR being attached to it, as well as this, aluminum metallic housing. Comes in around 47 ounces. Hans, I believe that weight was with the mount. Is that right?
That's without the mounts.
That's without the mount. Sorry.
Yeah,
okay.
With the mount, it was like
mount.
50. With the mount, it's like 55 ounces.
Yeah. So you're going to find that a lot of these digital night vision optics are not light. They're heavier units. But I'll be honest, when you get that thing on a rifle, it's not bad. I mean, you're not gonna. I mean, if you're walking around all night, yeah, you might notice it. But sitting there, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. So overall. That's the basics. This unit has some other things we're going to talk about a little bit in a minute. It's got a new feature called SUM Light. That's SUM Light, LIGHT. And what this is it's a very low light capability that this optic has. Now, one thing I'll say off the top, Pulsar has always been known for very, very good and sensitive sensors. Sensitive sensors sounds like some kind of a double negative or something, but it's they are. And so they've been known that you go out on a very bright moonlit night, full moon or low light in the late evenings. A lot of times you can get by with a Pulsar with no IR light, whereas on a a lot of other brands, it's black. You don't see anything. Those sensors don't bring in a lot of ambient light, but the Pulsar sensors really do. Well, this is something that they have built off of. It's a different feature. Hans will kind of show you where it is up there on the scope, but you can put it in this SUM Light mode, and it sucks in all the ambient light that it can, and gives you a full color picture. So I want to be clear, you're not going to go out there on a black night, midnight, and turn that on and see full color. It's not going to do that. But if you do have very bright moonlight or that twilight mode where it's maybe even getting hard to see with your eyes out there past that, 100, 125 yards, and you're just kind of like, I think I can see some hogs or something out there, that's where you flip this thing on, and it will, again, draw that light in and give you a full color image that's really pretty darn cool. We'll talk some more about that in a minute. Again, you'll always, if you don't want to use that, you can always just turn on your IR and it's going to work like, like just normal night mode. Well, you know what, Hans? We said all this, and I should have said at the very beginning. This unit is full color during the daylight. That's something I've just glossed over. This is Pulsar's very first move into full color digital night vision. I'm sorry, I just was making this assumption everybody knew this, but they've always been black and white day and night. This is their first full color daytime black and white at night optic, and they've done a very good job of it. So All right, Hans. I felt like I did pretty good there till I got to the end and realized that I butchered some stuff that I left out. But anyway,
Well,
walk
yeah.
us around
You
this
remembered,
thing.
yeah, you remember to stuff it in there at the end. So the
That's
most
right.
important feature is the fact that it's color. And if you're familiar with the past Digex design, the tube design, I tell you, I really like the tubular design scopes. I used to think they were kind of weird looking, but the mounting flexibility on these things, being able to put it on a bolt action rifle or be able to put it on an AR style rifle with ease, because there's a lot of guys out there, and I think an increasing amount of guys out there and girls that are hunting with both. They like to hunt with AR and they like to switch over to bolt action. I'm one of those people. I switch back and forth quite a bit, and to be able to have a scope that mounts perfectly on both with proper eye relief, I think is a big deal. And I think that's why you're seeing the popularity of these of the style design of scope getting as popular as it is, and more manufacturers are producing them. So that's one of the big things that we see about this. But the C50, yes, as Jason said, the sunlight feature and the adjustment, I was showing that while I was talking. So if you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, definitely, if you want to see it, go check out the video on YouTube. We're also playing some videos as well while we're talking. Jason was able to take it out, and he's farming some pigs out in his pasture for some great videos. So
right.
He's been getting some good video for us of some hogs out in his field. But you got the sunlight adjustment up here on the top. You do have your objective lens focus right here in the normal spot. Your removable IR light, so it just kind of clips on there. Really cool design how it comes on and off. You know, if you already know, and there's a lot of people out there that say, I'm running an aftermarket IR light. I always do, just because of the distances I'm hunting and how far out I want to stretch it. You can take that light off and really save you a little bit of weight there as well. But you talk about the removable battery up here at the top, that top turret, and also the removable battery from the IR light right here. The end twists off right there. I've got it sitting in an American Defense manufacturing recon mount. This is the 30 millimeter round. I tell you, this is a popular mount. You see it a lot here on this show. We use it a lot, and the great thing is that it fits this scope as well. So you're buying probably one of the nicest night vision scopes out on the market. You want to have it in a great mount. But again, a very familiar Digex design in that tubular style of scope. Button layout and functions are very similar. I do like, and it's kind of cool, the IR adjustment here. You got the on-off little button right here and the dial on top to adjust the brightness of the IR. There's a little green light that lets you know when the IR is on. You can see it. It's a little hard to see at night that it's on. You can see it, but you got to know to look for it. Inside, you will probably not see that light is on if you have the IR running inside and you forget to turn it off. But it's like you're talking about the weight. It's all there. You're not going to lose it thinking that it's light as a feather. But the weight is evenly balanced. I'll say that. It seems balanced. You take the IR light and you put a different IR light, mount it somewhere on the rifle. That'll lessen the weight a little bit. But we talked about accessories for this. We've got the recon mount that you can purchase through Outdoor Legacy. And also you can add a sniper hog light. There's 3 different models, and we've talked about the sniper hog lights before on this show. You got the 50 LRX, the 66 LRX, and the Coyote Cannon. So if you're trying to decide which accessories you need or you want, and you're interested in buying this scope, definitely call and talk to me or Jason. You can give us a shout. We can walk you through what accessories you might need, and it really just depends on how far you're trying to see out. You don't want to add any extra weight to your rifle by adding. You may think about, hey, I want the biggest light I can get, which is the Coyote Cannon, which can see out to 800 to 1,000 yards in some cases. But if you only hunt fields that are 200 yards long, there's no need to carry that much extra weight. So we can talk about it. We can figure out which accessory is best for you. But really happy about being able to, again, use the American Defense Manufacturing Recon mount with this. But that's the walk around. And like I said, we've been showing some videos. The videos look great. We've tested this thing out. We've been hunting with it and having some fun with it. And really, there's a lot to like about it.
There is, and you're talking about the sniper hog lights, and that's something that is always a question every time you talk to a potential buyer about a digital night vision optic. They say, do I need to buy a better or brighter IR light than what comes with it? And my answer to that is always, it depends. And a lot of times my answer is, I mean, if guys they haven't done it before and they're not familiar with different ranges and, what IRs are capable of, or maybe even how far they're going to be hunting, my advice is, okay, don't buy one today. Buy the scope as it is, go out, test it. You're going to know in, one evening of hunting, hey, I need more light, or, whoa, this is plenty sufficient for what I'm doing. I don't need any more. And the very last thing that I want a guy to do is to spend money that he doesn't need to spend and add more bulk and weight and different batteries and all this kind of stuff that if he doesn't need it. If the light that comes with this will work, man, go for it. I mean, just use it, no problem. But again, if you're not sure what to do, I would highly advise getting the unit, testing it. Doesn't cost anything more to just turn around and buy the light, the next week if you decide that you need it. Now, if you know right off the top, you're like, listen, I want to look 300, 400, 500, 600 yards, then you need to get another light. I will say that I was impressed with this light that comes on it, this 850 nanometer light. I always like to throw out the safe distance of 200 yards. Okay. I mean, I think that's a safe, it is like 200 yards. I really think this unit or this light will go further than 2. I mean, I think it's 250 is pretty easy for this light. Would a brighter light, do better at 250? Sure. But I really think this is probably one of the best IR lights that's included with a scope that I've seen. So if you're kind of on the fence, try this thing first. I mean, I think 200 is going to be easy. I think 250 is very reasonable. I think if you get any kind of, moonlit or anything like that, you may get out there even into that 300 yard range. That may be stretching it, but it's a possibility.
There's a lot of people that always ask about the ID ranges of digital night vision scopes. That really just depends on the IR light that you're running. That's the big thing about this. If you have a scope that's limited in ID range, that usually means it's because your IR light is not strong enough to see as far as you want to see. But I would agree with that range, and I do agree with this. The IR light on this, I think it's one of the best that has come on a scope before. Not just for performance and ID range, but functionality. I do like the on off switch and the adjustment knob on the top. But I think that you put a good Coyote Cannon and you'll be able to see a long way out there with this thing at night. And it's we'll get into some of the likes, but picture image at night is
66 LRX or whatever. You're going to really be able to reach out there. And if you already own a good light, maybe you're upgrading from a different optic, just keep that and plan on using that with this optic. Well, I don't know. There's a lot of things I want to get into. I tell you what, let's just go ahead and talk about some of the likes and the things that we like about this unit. I tell you what, let's talk about the dislikes. I always like to get the bad news away first. I think we've already mentioned, it's a big, heavy unit. No doubt about it. I mean, this unit's pretty long. It's pretty big. It just is what it is. Again, that would not hamper me from personally buying it. If you're going to mount it on a rifle and you're going to leave it there, I wouldn't let that be the end of the world for me. You're going to find all of these digital night vision optics, for the most part, are not they're not lightweight. No. I think that there's one thing here. I don't mind this 3.5 power base mag. It's a little more than I need. It's more than I want for very close range hog hunting. I know a lot of guys that are using digital scopes are hunting over feeders, or they're hunting coyotes, or hunting in fields, not necessarily always spotting and stalking and getting right up on them. So the 3.5 power is fine. I mean, if my perfect world, it would probably be 2.5 or something, 2. But I'm fine with this 3.5. The field of view is still good. I didn't see where it was really hindering me much. But I will say, one thing that you're going to notice on this unit compared to some of the other brands of digital optics that are now this super high resolution, all these, 4K resolution optics. This is not that. It does not have that resolution. I mentioned whatever that resolution was there in the specs, the 1900 and something. So what you're going to see on the base mag is a beautiful, beautiful image. Okay. I've put this right beside some of these high resolution 4K units, and on base mag, you're not getting a benefit to these 4K units. Okay. This unit looks awesome, but where you're going to see, and this is where I'm kind of rolling into my negative, where you're going to see the problem is when you start zooming up. So yes, you can zoom up to 7 and you can zoom up to 14, but don't make the assumption that you're going to, if you're not familiar with how digital zoom works, don't take this unit and think, oh, I'm going to zoom it to 14 power. It's going to be awesome. You can do it, but that hog or that coyote or that coon or whatever you're shooting at, deer, it's going to get grainy. Okay. You're going to have a very limited resolution at that point. Is it usable? Absolutely. No question, but it's not going to be the greatest. And if you watch that video back, you're going to that's not good. So again, the 3.5 power base mag, beautiful. 7, very usable. 14, it's getting pretty grainy on you. So you just need to know that. Now, what I find is most guys that have some night hunting experience that have been doing this for a while, they don't use the higher magnification range. Right. You want to do the bulk, the vast majority of your shooting on the 3.5 power. I mean, if I was selling you a thermal scope, I'd say the exact same thing. You want to do the bulk of your shooting on your base mag. If you need a bump in magnification and you want to keep your field of view, and you don't want to get a grainy image, use your picture-in-picture. And for those that don't know, that's a small little box that you can turn on that's at the top center of your screen, and it's got your crosshairs in it, and it's zoomed in. So if, let's just say that you got 2 coyotes out there, and they're at, 175 yards, and you're ready to shoot, but you want to know where the second one goes. Well, if you zoom in, you're going to get a narrow field of view. It's going to be grainy. So you may just turn on your picture-in-picture, take it to that 7 power. You take that first precision shot at 7 power, and boom, the coyote drops, recoil happens, your eyes blink, you come back, and now you still have your wide field of view. You still have your main crosshairs as well, and you can find that second coyote and try to get on that. So that's just a benefit of using a picture-in-picture. So I think I just somehow took a negative and spun that into a positive. But
you did. Well, that's a good job. That's perfect salesman technique there. So I would agree with the
I was going to say that's all my real dislikes about it. Not much.
I'll agree with that. So it's a little heavy. Obviously, it's pretty long. I would say you're right on when you start magnifying the image, it does get a little bit pixelated. I'm going to roll that right into the likes, though.
I would always want me to do the bad news, and
I'm rolling it right into likes because it is on base magnification at night, especially. It's one of the cleanest images that I've seen on a night vision scope at night on base magnification. It is. I was telling Jason and I were talking about it earlier. I mean, there's just no what I call noise, not this
digital noise,
digital noise. Yeah, it is so clean. The picture image at night is so, it just looks so good. You need to talk about, I'll let you talk about and explain the viewfinder screen and all that, but it's just
at night. To interrupt you here in a minute.
That's awesome. A big, beautiful image at night. I think that this scope, let's not kid ourselves. This scope is several $100s more than its competition, and we all understand that. But when you operate the scope and you see all the features that it comes with, all the the picture-in-picture display, the video and audio recording, it is worth. I definitely think it is worth the several $100s more than its nearest competitor because of now all the functionality that it has with day and night, the clean image, all the features that it comes with. Man, I think this might be my new favorite night vision scope.
Everyone is your new favorite.
And I love night vision scopes. I love digital scopes because here's what I've done now. And for the last, this, Jason, the last 2 seasons, deer season, I do not hunt with a regular daytime scope. I hunt with a digital scope. And the first year I shot my buck with the Sightmark Wraith HD. The second year was with the 4K Mini. I imagine this year, deer season 2022, I'll be using a C50. I love it. I think for a bolt action rifle, it's perfect, and I love using bolt action rifles. And man, it's gonna be awesome. And even with that some light feature, early mornings and at dusk. I tell you, man, I think the wait was worth it. All the people that called in, I think it's, I love it, man.
All right, so let me talk about, I'm gonna give a couple quick things that I like as well, and then I'm gonna come back around to what Hans was kind of talking about there with the display. So another thing I really like, that it's something I don't use that much, but I like having the option, and it's very common now. This scope can go on multiple rifles. It has 5 different rifles zeroing profiles. So if you've got it on your bolt gun, you got it mounted in something like that American Defense QD mount, and you want to move it over to your AR or a different bolt gun, you can do that. The long as you have a high quality quick detach mount, and you're putting it right back in the same Picatinny slot, you're not adjusting the tension on those QD throw levers or anything, you can move it from rifle to rifle, have multiple zeroing profiles. Another thing, that this is one of those things that just gets glossed over, and I hear it, these complaints more from guys that are out there using them. Hans and I kind of get used to this, and it's the startup time. The reason is every optic, people say, hey, what's the startup time on this scope? I go, I don't know. Every optic's different, and I'm used to the fact that there's going to be this startup delay, and so it's not like taking your phone, pressing the button and just blink, there's a screen. This thing has to turn on. Any thermal or night vision scope. So I'm used to that. I turn it on, don't even look through it. I mean, I turn it on ahead of time. But this unit has got a 3-second startup. That is super short, super fast. And so I'm always about quick. Don't get me wrong. I'll take it. The quicker, the better. Then I won't have to turn it on before I, ready to look through it. But anyway, I noticed that. I checked the specs, and it is something that's one of their real claims to fame is a 3-second startup. Now, circling back to what Hans was talking about that I was going to very rudely interrupt him, is talking about this display. If you're coming from a lot of the other digital night vision optics on the market, what you're going to find in this unit is the display screen is huge. It feels huge. And I don't want to get into the mechanics of all this, but a lot of this is actually done through the eyepiece, okay, and the way that the eyepiece is and where the display screen is placed inside there. But all that matters to you and me is what it looks like when you look inside of it. And it has got a big screen. And I love it. Some of the other scopes, you kind of feel like when you look in there, you're kind of looking into a tunnel a little bit to see that screen. This optic is not like that at all. And I think that's what sets it apart, even using it side by side with some of these other optics. Now, I'm just going to kind of roll in here and give you some of my general thoughts on this unit. I got some notes here, and I just keep thinking of things and scratching them down while we're talking. But this unit, the question that we're going to get asked, we already get asked, and it's going to question, a lot of you are asking is this worth the other $600-700 or maybe it's $1,000 or $800, $900 more than some of the other digital night vision. Is it worth it? My answer to that is maybe. And the reason I say that is it may not be worth it to you, but it's worth it to a lot of guys. And you say, well, okay, what am I really getting? You've already said I'm not getting this super high resolution. So what are the benefits? There's a lot. Number one, this unit, the Digexes, they're in the same housing as the Pulsar Thermions. Now that is Pulsar's high-end digital, I can't even say it now. They're high-end thermal rifle scopes. I mean, all the way up to $5,000-$6,000. That's the same housing. It's the same menu system. It's the same buttons. It's the same basic features, same battery packs. So think about this for a minute. You can go out and buy a $6,000 Pulsar Thermion XP50 LRF, and it's in the same exact housing, menu, battery, everything. There's value there. They're not putting a $6,000 scope in a $50 housing. It's not happening. Exactly. Again, same thing, menus and all that. I know I'm kind of harping on this, but it's a big deal. It's like, think of it like this. You're buying a Cadillac. You're getting a different engine, okay? But the seats and the exterior and all the bells and the whistles are the same. So you're getting a really good value for that. So anyway, I think that's a big deal. Also the fact that you can easily put this on a bolt gun and get that eye relief that you need. That's one thing we need to talk about a little bit. So Hans has got that in that American Defense mount. And on a bolt action rifle, if you'll look at that mount particularly that he's got, it's a cantilevered mount. It's offset. So the way he's got it in there, he's pushing that scope forward. Perfectly fine for an AR-15. What's nice, and this is why we like that mount as well, you can flip that mount around and it will now push that optic back. That eyepiece goes back towards the buttstock. That's what you will need most likely on any fixed stock rifle. You need the eye relief. You need to get that thing back towards you. That mount will do that. And the nice thing is if you want to switch it over to an AR-15, you can still leave it in that mount turned that way because you got plenty of rail space on an AR. It's no problem at all. So that's kind of a dual function with that mount. But that's what you're going to get that's hard with a lot of these optics without a 30 millimeter tube is getting them back far enough without it being awkward or the optic kind of hanging out there over your, behind the action of the rifle towards the buttstock and kind of, I've seen some setups that work for guys, but that optic is like on an extended rail hanging out there in la la land, and it looks weird. You're not going to have to do this like this. It's definitely a benefit. And then real quick, a couple more things, and I'm going to let Hans take it back over. But I think that removable rechargeable batteries are awesome. Yes, you can always use a USB external battery pack if you're going out in really cold weather, hunting a long time. But being able to, you do have that one battery that you can't take out that you recharge, but being able to take out this other battery, swap it back in, having multiple batteries available, I like that option a lot. And it's really nice to have that in this unit. So, okay. I want to come back. I want to let you, I know you've got some things you want to bring up. I've got one more big thing that I want to talk about, but I'm going to let you go ahead and tell them some more things you like, because I know I've been rambling.
Well, now, rambling is kind of what you're good at, but that's okay.
My middle name.
That's okay. That's why we had episode 200 to make fun of you. Honestly, I think you've hit on everything and all of the likes, but I would say I think the price point is fair at $13.99. It's right in line with some of the other Pulsar digital night vision scopes, but what you're getting now is you're getting daytime mode. That's a big thing, and I think there was a lot of pressure for Pulsar to do that because a lot of other companies have already made that switch over to these dual purpose night vision and daytime scopes. The fact that they've done it and they've been able to do it within their same Digex housing, like you said, you're getting a very high quality scope here, high quality production. I think if you hold this up and you use it and operate it compared to some others on the market, you'll see the attention to detail that is put into not just the design, but the menu functions, the the picture-in-picture display, just small things that you can tell that it's put together and made with a lot of thought, and that's what you come to expect with Pulsar products. They're a leader in the industry. They're what we tell a lot of people. They're a company that a lot of other companies are looking to as far as direction in design and functionality in the market. So it's another good quality product, and I do anticipate this one being up there as far as the best sellers coming up for this year because of it's first of all because it's a Pulsar product and most people know that name, they trust that name, and I don't think it cuts any of that short.
Yeah, so I want to talk real quick about this sunlight feature. Because I've gotten a lot of questions and there's a lot of confusion. I know I kind of went into this when I was going down the specs, but I just want to explain it again. So there on the front lens or the front assembly there is where you can turn and change that thing from day and night mode. And you can then go in to the settings and you can turn on the sunlight and what have you. So this unit is not magic, okay? So you're not going to go out there at black night or in a black dark room and be able to see anything without an IR illuminator, okay? Right. It's not. But what it is going to do is in those very low light situations where there is still light and your eye may be having a hard time bringing it in, you will be able to bring in that light. So let me tell you what I think it's really good for. I think it's really good for the guy who is deer hunting with this. And we all know that you can milk out 5 more minutes of legal shooting light, depending on how your state is. But most states, you can milk out legal shooting light with a good daytime glass optic. And that's where your higher end Leopold, Zeiss, Swarovski, these nicer optics come in. Because people always say, what's the difference in, a $2,500 daytime scope and a $500 scope? And I'm like, the last 5 minutes of daylight and the first 5 minutes. I mean, that's where it really pays off. Well, the same thing with this. Again, I'm not suggesting shooting after dark or anything like that. If you were going to do that and break the law, you can do that as it is. It's got an IR illuminator. I'm talking about legal shooting light, not having to turn on an IR illuminator, but still being able to use this optic by using that feature. Again, there's no IR illumination. It is just a digital scope that is bringing in and using the ambient light that's already there. So I think for deer hunters, the first, 5 minutes in the morning, the last 5 minutes, it's going to be really good. And you're going to be able to stay there when nothing happened in the last 5 minutes. Then you flip it over to your nighttime mode and you can shoot hogs when they come out on your feeders or what have you, or coyotes or whatever you're doing there. So I do think that is a really cool feature. I think that we can't gloss over how good the daytime image is. It is definitely, as Hans said, something you can go out and go daytime hunting with. And so I just wanted to kind of bring that back up, but putting a bow on this, and I don't want to beat this into the ground, but I mean, Hans said it, it's a Pulsar optic. It's high quality. I talked about the body and the housing. I'll say this. Do I think everybody that owns a less expensive digital night vision optic needs to run out and go buy this thing today? No, I do not. I think there's some people, this unit would actually be a downgrade for them. It would not be what they want because of the way they use their scope. But I think for the guy who has had digital night vision and he says, man, you know what? I'm really not quite ready to make a jump into thermal. I still want to stay, under $1,500, but I want something really nice. I want a classy scope. I want a scope that is European built. I want something that I know the quality when I pick it up. When I hand it to a buddy, he knows the quality. I'm going to mount this on my custom bolt action rifle or my custom AR-15. I mean, you know, I'm talking about a guy who wants the quality. And I'm trying to paint this picture here. I'm not saying that this is a Ferrari and that only Ferrari owners can appreciate it. But what I am saying is there are some people who appreciate a nice European optic. And they're saying, I want that. I want that look, that feel, that menu system, some of these features. I think this is for you. I mean, this is a really, really nice optic. I don't think you'd be disappointed with it at all. I think, look at this. This is what I like about it. So the past Digex, the last model, the discontinued N450, was $1,200. This unit is $1,400. So $200 more. You're getting full color during the daylight. You're getting this low light feature. You're getting a better or longer viewing distance out of the stock IR. Man, I think that is a cheap upgrade for $200 to get all this. I think it's a good deal. So, with all that said, unless Hans has something exciting that we've left out,
I'm going to steal the thunder from you. So, for all the dozens and dozens and dozens of people that I've called wanting to know if the C50s are here, I've got good news. Call us. 877-350-1818.
when they're here, we've already sold through, and we may not have any when you call, but we're getting more.
They may not have them, but they are officially for sale. Whether now or when they come back in stock. So 877-350-1818. You can talk to me or Jason. Give us a call anytime. We'd love to talk to you about this and any accessories that you feel like you may need with it, with the Sniper Hall Glide or the American Defense Mount. You can find this review. Obviously, we do different platforms. We've got our audio only versions if you're listening in the car. We've got YouTube where you can see the video. You can see the videos now on Facebook. Hopefully that's still going on. I forgot to ask Jason if he's still doing it. Good. Yeah. And we got that going on. But if you want to see all of our past episodes in one spot, you can do it at thelatenightvisionshow.com. You can find me doing review on this Digex C50 over on my channel very soon. More video through it, much smaller, shorter format if you want to send it over to buddies to check it out if they're interested. It is Hans ETX on YouTube, Hans ETX on YouTube. And you can find Jason over on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Outdoor Legacy. And you can find me over on Instagram at Hans ETX. We'd love for you to join us on all the socials. Give us a follow, give us a like, let us know you're here, and we definitely appreciate all your phone calls. And like I said, all the guys that have been asking about it, it's finally here. It's for sale. You can pick them up now, or if we don't have it, we'll get it hopefully very soon. So give us a call.
All right, sounds great, folks. We appreciate you watching this show. We appreciate all of our Outdoor Legacy customers that have supported this show by supporting Hans and I. We really, really appreciate y'all. Anything we can do for you, let us know. We will be back next week, good Lord willing, episode 202, and we will have another great show for you. So again, be sure to check us out next Thursday wherever you watch or follow the show. But between now and then, y'all stay safe in the fields and keep making those bacon pancakes.